Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this World of Warcraft Blizzcon Roundup. And in this video I'm just pretty much going to be rambling on about all of the announced things that Blizzard are going to be doing for the new expansion, which was announced at BlizzCon, which is Mists of Pandaria. And yes, some people that look on MMO Champion probably assumed this was going to be the next expansion with pandas. So some people have had a good idea it's going to be this for some time, but yeah, for others it was kind of a nice surprise, and personally I think it looks like it's going to be an amazing expansion, but that's my opinion, and I'm going to stick with that. And I'm just here to pretty much summarize everything that was said. I've got a big list, and there's not really going to be much visually going on in this video, it's just going to be me rambling on like I've said, so you might want to minimize YouTube or something along those lines, I don't know. So, let's begin, I guess. So, like I've mentioned, the new expansion is going to be Mists of Pandaria, and they've already got a website live, which you can find a link to in the video description below. And this just gives you a brief outline of what the new talent system they've put together is going to look like, as well as a look at the new class and the pandas themselves. The level cap is going to be raised to 90, and when you start leveling from 85 to 90, you are not able to fly on the island of Pandaria until you have reached the maximum level. I think that's great, just saying. You have 5 new starting zones, and they are very big starting zones, like a lot bigger than the Cataclysm ones, and they're all located on the island of Pandaria, so you don't have to move. Like, Blizzard didn't like the idea of you going around all of Azeroth, so to speak, should I say, sorry, in order to go to different places. So they put them all in one place, just like it was with Northrend, and I suppose like it was with Outlands as well. Pandaria is an island, like I've said, and it has been magically hidden since the Sundering, and it was discovered during the Cataclysm, during a battle between the Alliance and the Horde, and this expansion is heavily based around the war between the Alliance and the Horde. The starting zone for the island, I guess you could say, is a giant turtle, which left Pandaria 10,000 years ago and didn't come back. It was filled, I suppose you could say filled, a turtle shell filled with pandas. It was Pandarians who wanted to discover the world, and they left on this turtle. When you level a new panda, I say panda, I should probably say a monk, or is it a panda? It's one of the two. I believe it's a panda. You are neutral until level 10, and at level 10 you would choose whether you want to be for the Horde or for the Alliance. Probably shouldn't have said that. I'm going to get a lot of hate for hating on the Alliance now. So, like I've mentioned, there's a new class which is the monk, and these can be a tank, a healer, or a melee DPS. And the best part of all is, they're not a hero class. Yay! So you start at level 1, and you level from 1 to 90. Monks can be all races, except goblins and worgons. And they use a resource called chi, which will slowly regenerate. So I suppose that's kind of like the rogue energy, or something along what they use. Something along the lines of the rogue energy, pretty much. And they use their jab and roll abilities in order to generate light and dark force, which is used for everything else. And you'll have some big moves which use the light side of the force. It sounds like Star Wars now, Jesus Christ. And some big moves which use the dark side of the force. So that's pretty much a bit about the starting zone and a bit about the new monk class that they're going to be putting in. Something else pretty big that they're doing for 5.0 is they're reworking the talent system completely. Instead of having I think it's 35 talent points, might be 40, it's quite a few. You'll have a talent point every 15 levels, and the idea behind this is they want to remove all of the junk from the talent trees and remove useless crap that you don't want to have on your action bars. So they want to make rotations like better, I guess you could say, like more improved for the class that you're playing. And when you've leveled up 15 times, I guess you could say, and you've got your new talent point, you choose from 3 different abilities what you want to put that point into. And the idea behind this is they want talent trees to be fun, and you should have more choice about what you want to put your talents into instead of just a standard cookie cutter build which you'd find on Elitist Jerks or something along those lines. Pretty big changes to that. Now looking at the dungeons and raids. On release, they plan to have 9 new dungeons, 6 of which will be located on Pandaria. And they're going to be bringing back Scholarmance and the Scarlet Monastery Wings 1 and 2 as heroic, because they said that players liked the idea of bringing back the old dungeons like it was done with Dead Mines and that other one. I've forgotten what its name is, but that other one, Shadowfang Keep, I think. The players like the idea of using those old dungeons back as heroics. Probably nostalgic reasons. I hated it personally. And on release they're planning to have 3 new raids which will feature the Mogu and the Mantids, which are kind of the race that hate, or the racers that hate the pandas. And they liked the idea of Cataclysm release they had 2 like 5-6 man dungeons and a small 2-man dungeon. So they said they're going to be planning on doing something like that. And World Raid bosses will return. So since I'm a Wrath baby, I didn't really experience World Raid bosses. So not much. It sounds good. I like the idea of them. Something new that they're going to be adding in is challenge mode dungeons. And this is where you can earn a bronze, silver or gold medal based on the amount of time it took you to complete a dungeon, and you can compete with other people on your realm in order to get the best times and things like that. And the best part about this is all of your gear is normalized for these dungeons, so that the competition between everyone is even. So say you've got like a 500 item level player and a 450 item level player, the item level will be normalized to 475 static for every player that enters that dungeon on the challenge mode UI. So it's good. It's going to be interesting how that works out. And these will reward gear which has awesome looks and no stats. So I'd assume that's going to be to do with the transmorfiguration that they're going to be implementing within patch 4.3. They're putting in Pokemon, pretty much. They're adding in a new pet battle system where you can collect, level and battle with your companion pets, and this is accessible to all players of every level. You will be able to customize your pet with different names and visual abilities, and all pets will be account wide, so whatever character you're on, you can have your pets. Well, you can go to battle with your companion pets, which sounds odd. And pets will have random stats, so some pets will have good tanking abilities and some will have good crowd control abilities. So you'll want to choose your team of pets pretty wisely. And pretty much like Pokemon, it is a turn-based battle system. So, I don't know. Yeah, turn-based battle system, and you fight with a team of 3 pets, so you might want a team with a good crowd controlling pet and a good tanking pet. And something else in the middle, damage dealing, healing. I don't know what pets they're going to be putting in yet. And it is a queuing system like the Dungeon Finder, like the Raid Finder, so you should find fights pretty fast, dependent on if people use this system quite a bit, and it also depends on the levels of your pet. On the non-pet PvP side of things, they are planning on adding in, I believe it was 4 new battlegrounds. They've got the Stranglethorn Diamond Mines, which is a payload style gameplay, so Team Fortress 2 players, you might enjoy that. The Valley of Power, which is a murder ball style of gameplay, sounds odd, but this is where if you pick up an object and the holding of that object earns you points, but it also deals damage to the person that's holding the object. So I'd assume you've got to pass it around or something along those lines. There's Ashara Crater, which is a Dota style gameplay. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but it sounds good because I enjoy games of the Dota genre, so I want to see how that's going to work. And a new arena called the Tolvia Proving Grounds, and I don't think we've had a new arena since... Did we get one for Cataclysm? I can't remember. They want resilience to become a base stat, so that they can reduce the barrier for entry for PvP. So every time you level up, you will gain a little bit more resilience, which is, it's okay, but it's really easy to get PvP gear, I guess. Like, you could start off with Honor and then go to Conquest. So I'm not too sure about that resilience, and I'm not sure how it's going to play out in PvP E as well, because I think back in Burning Crusade, people would use resilience within PvE, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't play then, so I'm not too sure about that. I'm just going off what I think I've been told. Achievements will now be allowed to be shared amongst characters that are on the same Battle.net account. Finally. So if you've got so you get Heroic Ragnaros on one character, you can have that on all the alts that you've got, or something along those lines. And this also allows Blizzard to add in new achievements, such as get all of the professions to the max level. And instead of like having, you know, dual crafting, enchanting, and then unlearning those two on the same tune, and then getting, say, blacksmithing and engineering, you can just have on one character dual crafting, enchanting, on another character blacksmithing, engineering. So it's a lot better off that way, I guess. And achievements, yay, everybody loves achievements. Not. And finally, some item changes are that the Hunter minimum range is gone, which isn't really an item change, it's more of a class change. The Hunter melee weapon is going. The range slot for all classes is going, so no more wands, bye bye. Relics are gone, and rogues and warriors can now throw their melee weapon, which should be pretty good to watch, and wands will become main hand weapons, which is better, I guess. I kind of like the idea of that. Don't really see the use of having off-handy things, I suppose you could call them. They're not that amazing. This was going to be the end of the video here, but I've got a few class changes written down, so I can quickly run over them. 3 classes I'm going to talk about now are Warlock, Shaman and Druid. Druids have always felt like they've had 4 specs, with their tanking, healing, boomkin, ranged obviously, and melee DPS. So now they're adding in a 4th spec. They've got the Feral Cat DPS, they've got a Guardian tanking spec, and they've obviously got the Resto spec and the Boomkin spec, that's the word I'm looking for. And all druids can still go to cat or bear form, so they've pretty much just given druids another spec, because, you know, what the hell, why not? Shamans, all of their buff totems are gone, and yeah, people are saying it isn't interesting to be the buff bitch of the group. All totems are now a utility, so an example of this is Earthgrab totem will root, Repulsion totem will repel, Bulwark totem will absorb. I don't know much about shamans, so I'm assuming that's more of a quality of life issue, and hopefully it's improved. And finally, warlocks. They will now have a unique resource spell for each spec, which is good. I've got an alt warlock. It's not very high level, but it sounds like something good. Affliction will keep soul shards, and apparently they're not interesting enough at the minute, so the developers have got a cool idea for them. You know how their cool ideas turn out. Demonology will get Demonic Fury, and you will build up Demonic Fury, and you metamorphosize when you either max it out, and more skills are going to be added to the demon form. And Destruction will get Infernal Embers, and the Destruction Warlock who keeps casting fire spells get hotter and hotter, and eventually they deal insane amounts of damage, because Warlocks don't do that at the minute, obviously. And you can build it up pretty quickly and then just unleash your big spell and kill people and bosses really fast. So that's pretty much it for this 2011 BlizzCon Roundup. Oh, yes. World of Warcraft players that want to play Diablo 3, go to Battle.net and you can sign up for a WoW annual pass. And you can still pay for World of Warcraft monthly, but this is just a contract saying that you're going to pay for World of Warcraft for the next 12 months on a monthly basis. Or you could pay for it all at once. And if you do this, you will get access to Diablo 3 for free when it gets released, and you will also get access to the Mists of Pandaria beta when that goes live. So it's really cool. If you're into Diablo 3, or if you want the Mists of Pandaria beta, I suggest you do that. That is a really, really nice announcement. And that's going to do it for this BlizzCon Roundup video. As always, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe for PTR preview videos, live kill videos, guides, and all of that kind of useless stuff that people seem to enjoy. Thank you for watching.